Hello everyone, you are about to hear a brief summary of the movie Blue Car. Enjoy watching. Mr. Auster is an English literature teacher, and McDenning is one of his favorite students. In class, the girl read a poem of her own composition, and Auster stated that she was capable of more. Meg has a difficult relationship with her younger sister. She constantly has to look after Lily while their mother is away at work all day. She divorced their father. You gave birth to her, so you take care of her. What did you say? Get out of here. Lily cut her foot with scissors and sprinkled salt on it. Meg felt sorry for her little sister and helped her treat the wound. The teacher slipped a form for a poetry contest into Meg's work. He also left an encouraging note. The girl was late for the bus. Auster stopped nearby and offered her a ride. Meg initially refused, but the teacher insisted. He explained that the contest would help her get a scholarship for college, but Meg is working and doesn't have time to prepare for it. The teacher asks Meg about her family. He found out that the girl hardly sees her father, only on holidays. After dropping off the schoolgirl, Auster said he would help her prepare for the poetry contest. Lily really misses her father. She found his old photos, which her mom might not like since she hates him. She herself is dressed as an angel in the photograph. The little sister was surprised why this Meg wore mom's blouse to school, and in it, the girl came to the teacher with a completed form. Auster treated his favorite to an orange. Sies, Zega, Shinasas. Meg's poem was about her father, who left the family. The teacher asked her to describe that day in detail. He himself told a tearful story about how he buried his son. That day he forgot to put on his lenses, and instead of seeing the child, he saw just a blurry spot of the red sweater. The girl focused and remembered that her father left that day in a blue car. Auster wrote an inspiring romantic poem for Miak. He never wrote anything like that for me. Who knows, maybe he will invite you to a dance. Lily declared a hunger strike and refused to eat a sandwich even under the threat of a gun. Mother called and said she would come home very late. Without eating, Lily went to sleep, wrapping her hands with tape. She didn't see her mom today after all. Megan wrote a poem for the contest. Auster showed off, and after taking the girl on an emotional roller coaster, hinted that she could do better. Today the family is having dinner with the mother's friend. He is the one who found a job for Megan, which does not please her at all. Mother is more concerned with discussing the new job, which her friend also arranged. It's time for the final of the Young Poets competition. Megan went on stage and recited a depressive poem titled Blue Machine. It's dedicated to their father, without whom life has become unbearable for the daughters. The next day, Auster called her into an empty classroom and advised her not to be upset about losing the contest. And as the saddened Meg was about to leave, he suddenly announced that she had won, so they would have to work together again for her to participate in the National Poetry Contest. Megan is not as sad as usual in class. She often stays with the teacher after lessons, and he feeds the talented student lunch. The final will take place in Florida, and her mom is unlikely to be able to go with Megan. The conversation was interrupted by one of the students, who turned out to be Auster's son, and he asked him for money for lunch. Returning home, Megan found her upset sister and sleeping mother, who had taken pills. Judging by the bruises, her friends started making advances. The woman refused, which is why she didn't get the job. Lily is trying to cover up her freckles. They constantly take her to a psychologist, but the girl isn't getting better. She calls herself an angel and still refuses to eat. In the church, the girl spread her arms and lost consciousness. After that, Lily was hospitalized. Megan met with the teacher and said she couldn't go. She wants to be next to her sister. Auster hugged her, started stroking her, and reassuring that Lily would be fine. Megan is surprised and wonders why the teacher is so kind to her. The mother snapped at Meg because she left work and lied to her boss, saying her father would drive her home. The girl hides who actually gave her a ride. She spent a whole 2 hours with the teacher. Meg wanted to withdraw money from her account for the trip to Florida, but it's impossible without her mother's signature. Auster left a tasty little gift on her backpack, a candy in the shape of a car. Her friend Georgia is also going to Florida with her family and offered Meg to stay with her. Then you just need to pay for the bus ticket. The girl visited Lily, brought her a toy and chocolate. It's a complete disaster with the little sister. Someone supposedly comes to her at night and takes away her wings. Wings. They won't grow because the tube has invisible food. Megan promises Lily that she'll take her to Florida. The mother was informed that they are planning to transfer the younger daughter to the psychiatric ward. Megan cannot withdraw her earned money, so she asked her boss to pay her next salary in cash. She also stole ties from the warehouse. She went to a clothing store claiming she bought them a week ago and now wants to return them, but she has no receipt. The manager also stated that it is not their merchandise. In the middle of the night, the hospital called the mother. Lily wanted to fly, and the window in the room was open. Her daughter is no more. Her father was also present at the funeral. Even today, they and her mother started arguing. Megan hung Lily's toy around her neck and found a photo where the girl had erased her own face. At school, Megan got caught up watching a teacher practice with the boys in the yard. At work, the boss immediately announced that the thief was fired and would not receive her salary, and then he expelled the schoolgirl from the store. At home, the mother searches Meg's room to find the stolen ties. The daughter had suffered from kleptomania before. Megan threatens to move to her father's, but does he really need her? In a year, he visited his daughters only 3 times and can't even pay child support, just $60 a week. Because of this, the mother works 12 hours a day and also attends classes, and Megan embarrasses her in front of friends and steals from the store. Ungrateful brat. Meg tried to take back her sister's things that their mother wanted to put in the closet and suddenly got slapped in the face. After that, the schoolgirl threw her clothes in a bag and left home, leaving her key behind. She decided to find solace with teacher Auster. He hugged the student and the girl lightly kissed him on the neck. Auster said that Megan was beautiful and stepped away from her. Georgia's parents allowed the girl to stay with them. Her older brother, Pat, also lives in the house. He has already served time for stealing credit cards. The guy admitted that he regrets upsetting mom and dad and now wants to make amends. Megan is familiar with this, as she also stole things several times. She wanted to buy a bus ticket to get to Florida. Pat stated that he'd rather drive her in his car than have her sit for 14 hours next to some fat creep. For this, the criminal asked her to steal several bags of pills from the pharmacy that were prescribed for patients. In the bags, Pat found Vicodin, Noxycantin, Viagra, and a bunch of other pills that can be sold for good money. Now they have money to get to the ocean shore. Today, Auster is giving the last lesson, and then it's summer break. The teacher is disconcerted and seems uncomfortable being near Meg after what happened. But then the man asked the student to come over to him and placed a star sticker on her forehead. How I wish I could show you how I feel. Before sleep, Meg gave Pat one of the stolen ties, and he told her they would set off at dawn. But in the morning, no one woke Meg up. Pat was already gone, and the police were making a list of everything he stole from his parents. Jewelry, collectible coins, a car, and even the family silver. The family is not going to Florida at all now, and the girl has no idea how she'll get to the contest. Her wallet is empty. As it is known, a bad example is contagious. And so Meg, having sneaked into her house, reached her mother's jewelry. At the pawn shop, they are ready to offer her only $75 for the wedding ring, jacket, and bike. And Meg agreed. Finally, she's taking the bus to Florida. At the cafe by the bus stop, the girl finished someone's leftovers. This is how the schoolgirl reached the ocean shore. A room at the hotel where the poetry contest will be held costs $190 per day, so Meg had to spend the night right on the beach. In the morning, she saw her teacher, Mr. Auster, who was vacationing with his wife and son. Megan approached to say hello. The teacher wanted her to join them. Adelia suggested the girl change clothes and buy drinks for everyone. The seemingly sweet woman, for some reason, began to mock Megan and her husband. I'm sure Meg would love to keep you company, dear. After some time, Auster offered to accompany the girl. Delia suddenly started crying, as if she knows something about her husband. In general, she is not very happy with him. The woman told Meg that she is nice and welcomed.
Lala, good luck in the competition. The teacher said that he and his wife have known each other since childhood. Then he suggested Meg put on his sweater and took her hand. The schoolgirl gave Auster one of the stolen ties, and he went ahead and kissed her on the lips. The man asked if she minded, and then he did it again. Then Auster took the student to the hotel room. The girl is embarrassed, but she understands what he expects from her. The teacher finally stopped pretending. He took off Meg's clothes and invited her to lie on the bed. The poet quickly turned into Mr. Sleazy. Meg got upset when she realized that Auster's initial goal was to get her into bed. There was a rumor that the book the teacher carries around is his novel, which won many awards, but almost all the pages in it turned out to be blank, and the romantic poem he dedicated to Megan back then was written by a famous poet in the early 20th century. Meg stuck a star on it and clutched her head. After getting what he wanted, the manipulative pervert pulled on his pants and offered to walk the girl home. "What is your book about?" Meg asked the teacher. "About how an old man fell in love with a young girl. They slept together, and the old man was reborn." After that, Auster got up and left the room. In the cafe, a waitress treated the young guest to dinner. Meg fell asleep right at the table. In the morning, she appeared at the poetry contest. On the chair, the girl found a chocolate bar shaped like a car again. Auster is one of the jury members. Instead of a prepared poem, Meg took a napkin on which she scribbled lines that night. She dedicated this poem to her teacher, Mr. Auster. She called him a liar and a monster who breaks girls' hearts. Her father left her. Now she wants him to leave too, taking his star with him. Finishing reading, Meg immediately left the contest. Everyone felt uneasy. The girl threw the napkin into the ocean and returned home. She immediately called her father and asked him to take her away. In the evening, her mother returned from work, and they asked each other for forgiveness. Meg tried to find a replacement for her father in Mr. Auster, and the scoundrel, knowing this, took advantage of the naive girl. Mom gave Meg all the old photos and left her alone. In the morning, her father arrived and took his daughter, so she could start a new life. Finally, she also left in the blue car she wrote about in her poem.